Good evening, Monsters Hockey Club members, and welcome to a pretty cool event. It's a Q&A with some of our new AHL signees this year. Good to be back with you guys. Good to talk some hockey, and we are happy to be joined by four guys who have signed AHL deals with the Monsters this season. Thomas Schemitsch is with us, Wyatt Newpower, Carson, Meyer, and Matthew Struthers. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, good to meet you guys. Kind of a weird way to meet the new players on the team, but this is the world we live in right now. I just wanted to maybe start by going right down the line. We'll start with you, Thomas, and then go to Wyatt, Carson, and Matthew. But if you guys could just give us a little bit of sense of your background, your path through hockey, and how you arrived in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm Thomas Schemitsch. Just signed with Cleveland. I'm excited. Yeah, I've been playing, just to give a little background, I've been playing hockey since I was probably 2, and I grew up in Thornhill, Ontario, so I played in the GTHL and got drafted by Owen Sound Attack and played there for 3 years, and eventually got drafted by the Florida Panthers and played 4 years for their affiliate in Springfield, and now I'm signed with Cleveland.
Yeah, good to have you. Welcome aboard. How about you, Wyatt? Give us a sense of your path here.
How's it going? Wyatt Newpower. I was born in Hugo, Minnesota. I grew up playing youth and high school there for my local high school, White Bear Lake. Then I committed to the University of Connecticut in the spring of my senior year of high school, and I went immediately out there and just finished up playing 4 years for the University of Connecticut, and signed with the Monsters this past spring, and looking forward to getting started with the organization.
Yeah, same here. How about you, Carson? You are an Ohio guy. We'll talk about that a little later, but give us a sense of your journey to get to Cleveland here.
Yeah, I'm Carson Meyer. I grew up in Powell, Ohio, so just like 15 minutes north of Columbus. I grew up playing AAA for the Ohio AAA Blue Jackets. And then I had a year in Tri-City in the USHL. And then I played my first 2 college seasons with Miami. And then I transferred and I just finished my college career with Ohio State.
Great. And then Matthew, how about you?
Yeah, I'm Matt Struthers. I grew up in Milton, Ontario, about half an hour out of Toronto. I played 9 years for the same minor hockey team, Halton. I was drafted by the Owen Sound Attack in the OHL, played parts of 5 seasons with them, got traded to North Bay, and then I actually got traded back to Owen Sound this past year, my OA season. And I signed with Cleveland in May, and like the 3 other guys, I'm looking forward to the opportunity and starting pro hockey.
Well, I know for those of you, Thomas, of course, you have experience in the AHL. For the rest of you guys, I know you're excited about seeing what the American Hockey League is all about. I guess we'll start with Matt again here, but what have you heard about Cleveland? What made Cleveland an interesting destination for you, and what made you want to sign with the Monsters?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of good things about the fans, the organization. I mean, I have a few friends that have obviously played in the AHL and the Eastern Conference, and right when I signed there and decided to choose Cleveland, they had only good things to say. I mean, they said the atmosphere there every night is awesome, and the city of Cleveland is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've never actually been into Cleveland, so it should be good.
Yeah, and Carson, you of course no stranger to the Blue Jackets organization. What made Cleveland the right spot for you to take the next step?
I know, like Chris Clark, the GM, really well, and obviously I wanted to stay in the organization because they drafted me, and they've helped me develop throughout my college career. So it just wasn't an opportunity I wanted to pass up. I was excited for the chance to stay with the organization.
And then Wyatt, how about you? I mean, I know you and Matthew signed your contracts quite a while ago, so by now you would have hoped to be in Cleveland getting ready for your first pro season. But still, what way back then, if you can think back to when you signed that contract, what was in your mind about wanting to come to Cleveland?
Yeah, like was mentioned already, the atmosphere was proved to be one of the best in the AHL. And my college roommate, Cale Howarth, is actually a Blue Jackets draft pick. So he kind of had a little bit of an insight into the organization. And he had nothing but good things to say. And I'm actually in Cleveland now. I moved down here and I'm actually training with Nathan Gerby and skating with him. So I did get the chance to come down here and kind of see it. But I'm looking forward to the game atmosphere, and hopefully we can make that happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you said it. That's for sure. It's great. Welcome to town, Northeast Ohio.
Thank you.
Great. All right. How about you, Thomas? Of course, you played in the American Hockey League, like you said, 4 seasons in the Florida organization in Springfield there. What have you heard about Cleveland from, guys you played with or against that have been here?
Yeah, I mean, we were in the same division, I think, last year, and we actually never ended up going. So I've never actually been to Cleveland, but talking with a few guys, they said, it's really cool, cool atmosphere and a really, really nice place to play. And obviously hearing from people within the organization how nice of an arena it is and the setup there. So it's definitely exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to hop around a little bit here. We'll sprinkle in some questions that we've gotten from some of our Monsters Hockey Club members. This first fan question, Carson, is for you. Comes from Max Snow. They wanted to know about your USHL days. You played for the Tri-City Storm, right there in Kearney, Nebraska. Once upon a time, I was calling games for Omaha, so I've been there many times. But they wanted to know about your experience winning the Clark Cup back in 2016.
Yeah, I loved my time in Tri-City. It's anybody who's been there, there's not a lot to do in that town. So it was it was fun because with nothing to do, we spent all our time with our teammates and stuff. And obviously only being there 1 year and winning the Clark Cup, it was a pretty memorable year because it was obviously all positive and happy experiences. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to do in Tri-City besides for play hockey, and that's what we did.
Yep. You can say that again. Kearney was an interesting road trip for sure every time we went there back. But moving along, Matthew, I've come to understand one of your future Monsters teammates, Tyler Secura, a little bit. You guys have trained together in the past. Is that right?
Yeah. That last summer was the first summer that Sicky came and started training at my gym in Oakville. So I've gotten a chance to get to know him last year, and then we've been training for what feels like a full year already this summer. He's a really knowledgeable guy, great guy to know, to have in the organization because he's played a long time in the AHL already, and a really mature kid. I mean, he's aged well beyond his years. I mean, he's someone that I can look up to, and watching him work out every day and kind of see how he takes care of his body and goes about the little things is definitely something I'm trying to soak it all in. And yeah, when I found out he signed with Cleveland, I was definitely excited because obviously it's nice to have people in the organization, and especially guys like that with a lot of experience.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's swing it back over to Wyatt here for a second. Wyatt, now you wore the captaincy there in your senior season for UConn. I understand you also did the same in high school in your senior year. What about that leadership role sort of lends itself to your personality, do you think?
I think it's just showing up every day with a good attitude and just kind of doing the right things and doing them right to the best of your ability and as often as you can. And I think it's a lot of fun trying to teach younger guys and kind of bringing younger guys under your arms. Obviously, I'm now back to being that rookie. But I think in college, it's a little bit different because of how close and confined you guys are basically on a college campus. But yeah, just kind of being there to lead by example and doing things right and having fun while you're doing it is probably the most important thing.
Well, if you want to soak up some of those leadership vibes, you're hanging out with the right guy in Nathan Gerby there.
Yeah.
This season. So that's great. Thomas, for you, a bit of a change of scenery for you this year after 4 years in one organization. What are you most excited about? Not necessarily just in coming to Cleveland, but in just getting into a new organization for a new opportunity in your career.
Yeah, obviously excited. It's a fresh start, different eyes looking at you, and it'll be a nice change. And knowing a couple of guys too. I obviously played with Matthew. I don't know if anyone knew that, but his first year was my last year, and I also know Cliff Poo got traded there, and so we played together in Springfield. So it's a nice to know a couple of guys within the organization, and yeah, like I said, obviously excited for the chance to play.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Back to you, Carson. We mentioned before, you're an Ohio guy. I mean, you played college in 2 different places in Ohio. You're from Ohio. Now you get the chance to, after being drafted by the Blue Jackets, you sign with Cleveland, you stay in this state. How much has the state of Ohio meant to you in your career? I mean, it's the only place you've ever played, except for Tri-City, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, I'll end up playing in pretty much every major city in Ohio here when the season gets going. But obviously, Ohio means a lot to me, and the program itself means a lot because the Jackets coming to town in 2000 is the reason I started playing hockey in the first place when I was a little kid. So it's obviously nice to stay in Ohio and be close to family. And I've grown up being a big Browns and Cleveland Indians fan, so it's nice to just be closer to that and maybe go to a couple of games.
Yeah, for sure. We've had some local Ohio guys over the years here in Cleveland. Of course, Trent Vogelhuber comes to mind, Cole Sherwood, another local guy. What's your relationship been like with those 2 guys?
Trent Vogelhuber, being older than me, was somebody I looked up to. Tried to follow his footsteps because he also went to Miami like I did. And then Cole, we grew up playing together. I played with him for probably 10 years. So we're pretty good friends, and it's awesome to be in the same organization as him. And like right now, we skate together a few times a week. So it's good to have, that familiarity going into it.
No question about it. Let's move on to another fan question here. Christina Williams wants to know, we'll go down the line with all you guys, starting with you, Thomas. This is a good one. Who was your favorite NHL player growing up? Like, who was your hero when you were watching the National League when you were a kid?
Growing up in the Toronto area, I was a big Leafs guy. So Matt Sundin, because I was a forward growing up actually, so he was my favorite player to watch.
Great. How about you, Wyatt?
Just from the Midwest, I think it's hard to not to like Nicholas Lindstrom's the way he played the game, and he's just unreal at the game. So it was a lot of fun to watch him.
Yeah, the perfect human, right? That's the nickname.
Yeah.
What about you, Carson?
My favorite player, like probably most people in Columbus growing up, was Rick Nash. He was, the first overall pick for the Jackets, and he was just an awesome guy to watch growing up as a kid.
Yeah, and with an expanding role within the organization, exciting to get a chance to work with him going forward too. And how about you, Matthew? Favorite NHL player when you were a kid?
Little off the board here. I really like Danny Briere. He played in Buffalo, and then he played in Philly kind of when I was growing up. And I don't know, it was something about the way he played. He always played really classy. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he played with a lot of heart, and I think he had a lot of underrated skill. So I always kind of liked him. Yeah,
great goal scorer. Hopping around a bit here topic wise, but let's talk about your guys' training. Like, we all know that typically in a normal season, all the things on the calendar and you can sort of build up to the start of the year. But with all the uncertainty this year, I know that impacts the way that you guys are preparing for the season. So maybe Wyatt, how about you go first here? You mentioned you're skating with Nathan Gerby, but just in general, what are you doing to ramp up to the season, both mentally and physically?
So my facilities in Minnesota actually closed down for the winter because youth hockey was starting. So those kids where they make all their money were no longer going to be attending there, so they closed. So that's kind of why I moved to Cleveland in the first place. Nathan Gerby and I share the same agent, so I got kind of in touch with him in that way, and I talked to him, and he's out at the practice rink about 3 times a week, and he said I was more than welcome to join him. So I made the move down here, just renting a place and skating 3 times a week out at the practice rink, and then also working out daily at a local gym. And then there's, of course, everything you do away from the rink, like diets and just kind of trying to keep a steady pace. I know they kind of said maybe early February start date, which can help in ways, but it's just trying to keep a steady pace and find the right training you can do to hopefully peak at that start date, assuming it stays in early February, if not earlier.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the target date, February 5th. So hopefully we're on track for that. Thomas, how about you? What's your training situation look like as you get ready for the season?
Yeah, I'm in the Toronto area, so I'm with Matt Nickel, and we have a great group of guys, and obviously limited number for guys on the ice. So you can't really get that practice. You kind of feel to it with those drills, but you split up the group into like a smaller group of 8 guys. So we got that twice a week on the ice, and obviously training every day and in the gym. So it's obviously been a challenge with following protocol and all that stuff. But yeah, like the Wyatt was saying, just kind of waiting for the season to start and kind of ramping it up a little bit here.
Yep. And then Carson, you said you're skating with Cole Sherwood, but what else are you doing kind of off the ice, getting ready for the season, staying in shape with that, sort of moving target of a start date that we hope now is coming up in a few months?
Yeah, so right now we're just skating a few times a week. It's myself, Cole Sherwood, his brother, and a handful of other local guys who are in the AHL and NHL. And then I do my weight training most of the week with a guy in the area his name is Brady Powers. He also trains Cam Atkinson too. So it's kind of nice because I've been able to talk to Cam quite a bit to hear about what to expect, even though, most of us still aren't quite sure what to expect as far as the season this year.
Yeah. And then Matt, how about you?
Yeah. Where I lived, my gym was closed most of the summer due to the virus. So we kind of had to get creative with, doing a lot of outdoor workouts, track stuff for the kind of the handful of the summer months. And then just recently, we moved back into our gym in the past 2 months. So we've been, back to the weights and kind of the heavier lifting, and then skating kind of like every other guy 2-3 times a week. Like the other guy said, it's been tough knowing kind of how hard to push and how hard not to push. I don't think we've ever trained this long without there being, games and not the heavy workouts throughout the season. But I mean, yeah, February 5th is kind of what we're going to work towards right now. And we're gonna train accordingly due to that right now.
Yep, we're talking here with Monsters signees, Thomas Schemitsch, Wyatt Newpower, Carson Meyer, and Matthew Struthers. And a big hello to all our Monsters Hockey Club members out there. And thanks to our friends at Rascal House, too, for help making today's event possible. Let's go back to another fan question here. Heather Tressa wants to know, we'll throw this out to, how about just to you, Wyatt, any new 2020 quarantine hobbies you got? She wants to know if you found any new ways to fill the time here.
For the start of it was mostly just video games, but that gets old. So actually I just picked up a new puppy, a 7-month-old from a local shelter. We adopted her. So she's a shepherd mix. So that's been plenty to take up my free time.
Yeah, congrats. You got a name? What's her name?
Her name is Nova.
Nova. Nice. Well, that's
Yeah.
a great spend quarantine there. Carson, how about this from Valerie Lloyd? She wants to know your most memorable hockey experience.
I'd have to say my most memorable hockey experience was either that year in the USHL winning the Clark Cup and that run that we went on, or my junior year at Ohio State. We won the Big Ten regular season, and it was the first time in program history. So that was a pretty awesome moment for us.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's give Valerie a little more run on that. Let's have all you guys answer it. How about you, Matthew? Most valuable, or rather memorable hockey experience?
I think I played U17 for one of the 3 Canada teams, and we ended up winning gold out in Northern BC. I think that's something I'll never forget. Beating Russia in the finals in front of 11,000 people, that was pretty special for me.
Yeah, no kidding. How about you, Thomas? Most memorable hockey experience, if you can think back?
I think maybe just getting drafted. It was the home team, or the team I ended up getting drafted to was the host team. So I think that whole experience was pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome. Drafted by, let's see here, Florida, 3rd round, 2015. Yeah, I'm sure that was a very special day for you. And Wyatt, how about you? Most memorable hockey experience in your career?
I think it had to have been senior night this past winter for college. We had the number 8 UMass Amherst team at home in Hartford, and we had about 11,000 fans in the building. And actually, Cale Howarth, a Blue Jackets draft pick, scored the winning goal, the game-winning goal with 8 seconds left. So I think just being able to celebrate senior night with the guys you go through college with for 4 years, and then getting a big win over a top 10 team was a lot of fun and pretty memorable.
Absolutely. Seeing as we're getting to know you guys, our fans here that are watching are getting to know you guys, if you could, maybe just if we could have each of you kind of describe your game a little bit and the way you go about your business on the ice. Maybe start with you, Carson. Just give us sort of a rundown of the things you do well and the elements of your game that you lean on most frequently.
Yeah, I'd say probably my biggest strength as a player is my hockey sense, and just I feel like I know the game really well, and I make smart plays with the puck. And then also my shot, probably I've got a fairly hard shot because I spent a lot of time working on it, and was able to get some goals this last season. So I think those 2 things are my biggest assets.
Yeah, great. Same question to you, Thomas. Describe your game a little bit for us, if you could.
Yeah, I think me as well. My hockey smarts are really high, and I think I read the game really well and use that to my advantage. I think my defensive game has come a long way, and becoming a complete 2-way player is what I wanted to do, and I think I'm getting there. So yeah, I think that would be it for me.
Great. Matt, you got any thoughts on the matter for our fans here? How would you describe the way you play?
Yeah, I think I'm a big kid that likes to use his size. Moving into pro hockey, I think I can play the wing and center, which is big. And then just being responsible on both sides of the puck. I mean, I've played 5 games in the AHL for Laval 2 seasons ago, and I kind of saw what it was like playing against 6'6" most nights. It's not easy, so you have to manage the puck, and I think when you have good enough hockey sense, you can kind of learn to do that. So yeah, I think that would be it for me.
Great. And finally, Wyatt, on the blue line, what do you bring to the table here?
Just being a big body, big frame on the back end, and making that first pass in the D zone, and igniting the breakout is huge to be able to get the puck out of the zone, and then just having good hockey sense and reading the play and making the right play and get the puck moving down ice, and then just being able to contribute as much as possible in the offensive zone and get the puck to the guys that score the goals.
All right. Well, guys, time flies. We've only got about 5 minutes left here. I've only got one more fan question, so maybe we'll go down the line again here and then wrap this up. But really appreciate all you guys being here today. It's great to meet you, even if it is virtually, and looking forward to working with all you guys. Molly Thompson wants to know, and I know we talked about why you chose to sign with Cleveland a little bit, but she wants to know what's most exciting to you guys about playing at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, a major league building in every way, with great fans. I mean, the Monsters led the league in attendance last year. What's most exciting to you about stepping onto the ice, the idea of that at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse? Thomas, how about we'll start with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously when fans are hopefully allowed to come in soon, just being able to experience that kind of, packed house. I heard nothing but good things, obviously, talking to guys about it. And, that's really exciting. And being able to play in that kind of, like you said, major arena or whatever, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Wyatt, how about you? I mean, I know you guys all played in front of big crowds before, but I'm here to tell you, if you haven't experienced it, when we've got, 13, 14,000 people, it's really something else. What excites you about that notion?
Yeah, obviously that large atmosphere and a lot of fans. Hoping that can happen sooner rather than later. And then with the organization had bringing the championship 4 years ago, I believe it was, just the recent title helps a lot in the city. So I'm looking forward to being able to play in front of a nice, large, loud fan base.
Yep, same here. And again, good point. We're hoping that can happen just as soon as possible. Get as many folks back into the building safely ASAP. Carson, I'm sure you've heard a little bit more than maybe most guys about what Cleveland is like, what the arena is like when it's packed. But what makes you excited about experiencing that environment at the American League level? It's pretty rare in the American League to have that many folks consistently.
Yeah, I've been to Rocket Mortgage a couple times before, and it's an awesome facility. I'm sure it's one of the best in the AHL. So exciting to have such a nice facility to go to, and I know how the Cleveland fans are about their sports. They love their sports, and they get crazy at the games. I've sat in the dog pound a couple times for some Browns games, so I know how passionate the fans are, and I'm excited to get the chance to play in front of them.
Yeah, they're excited to have all you guys. Matt, how about you? Just thinking of that on a consistent basis, the kind of support we get in Cleveland, it's really something special. This is a great hockey town. Kind of flies under the radar, in my opinion, when you think about great hockey cities in the U.S. But what comes to mind when you think about playing in a place that really cares about their hockey team?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I come from a place playing in the OHL for Owen Sound, which is a really small city in Ontario that obviously a much smaller rink, but a packed house every night, 3,000 people. So to be able to step into a much bigger city will be really cool for me. And obviously a much bigger fan base, playing in front of 11,000 people. Not many people can say they get to do that on a regular basis. So, I mean, that's really exciting for me. I've seen fans that care about hockey, and it's a good feeling and a good atmosphere to play in front of every night.
Yep, it's a great place to be, and we're really happy to have all you guys again on behalf of the whole organization. Welcome to Cleveland. Wyatt beat you to it. He's actually physically here in Cleveland, but welcome, guys. Looking forward to the season to come, and thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, that is Thomas Schemitsch, Wyatt Newpower, Carson Meyer, and Matthew Struthers. This has been our Monsters Hockey Club Get to Know the Player event, and we appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you before long down at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse for some Monsters hockey. Stay safe, everybody.